Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM23 Youth Factory. This is episode 26. We are now out of our other competitions. A year ago we had 4, this year just 3, and we are now out of 2 of those. They've been the focus of the last few episodes for the most part. The league, meanwhile, where we really sat back and weren't playing matches, now that we're out of the other 2, we're starting to catch up. We are still a game in hand on pretty much the rest of the league, but those extra matches have finally paid off with us pulling to the front, but barely. We're on 34 points, Taunton on 34 points. We just have slightly better goal differential. More than slightly, but not significantly. I mean, this is a margin that you see exceeded in leagues all the time. Meanwhile, behind them, FC Bristol, just 1 point further down. And 1 goal further behind. And it is that same FC Bristol who came up with us a year ago, who got better, or we got worse. And the gap between us has closed significantly. And it is that same FC Bristol that we are about to play. So with our focus now on the league, one thing that's still a problem, but will soon not be a problem, is that 2 games a week. 2 games a week. All freaking season long. Literally. We had our first match of the season, and a week later we played our second match of the season. And every single day/week since then, we have had 2 matches a week. We had a midweek for our third match, and I think that was actually the first of those FA Cup or FA trophies. Regardless of what competition we were playing in, from that point forward, we have played 2 matches every single week this season. That incredible run has led to, fortunately, just some minor injuries, because the injury risk is absurdly high. Most of the members of our team do have a slightly above average injury risk just by nature, the players that we have, combined with the match load that's been insane. And I've tried to rotate the squad, but of course, and we've talked about this at length in some prior episodes, so just quick summary here on this one. With all the players that left the club, it meant new players coming up into that first team. And that meant those are the guys that would have been the backups. Those are the guys that would have provided us the depth. We don't have that right now. And establishing that is challenging. Now, we kind of have, through the month of, October in particular, established a little bit of depth. We have some players that have been vetted a bit, have some experience now, and can be used in a pinch. But squad rotation has been a little bit harder to come by properly when we lost so many key players, and the guys that would provide us that are now providing us first team action, period. But the schedule is about to get lighter. We still got to try to get through FC Bristol first. Let's go ahead and do that. See where we come out. It can make a really big difference beating your direct title rival head-to-head at this phase before things ease off, versus trying to then chase if we come out on the wrong end of this. FC Bristol have so much quality here that they have a bunch of known actual faces. This is going to be interesting, though, because, one, I've still had to go with squad rotation because we are literally in a desperate situation with this. Mortland even is out on international duty, so I have a couple of positions rotated here. And despite that, I'm still looking at a good 5 guys that are quite tired right from the start, right from the get-go, which is going to be difficult. Atkins picking up a very early yellow card here. That's worrying. By the way, it is from this very sport that I'm still recovering my voice a little bit. Season ticket holder for the Portland Thorns, and yeah, if you haven't seen what happened with that one over the weekend, then You don't know why it is, but if you are aware of the match, you know exactly why. Exactly why I lost my voice. But long story short, early red card, extremely questionable one on how you justify a red card under the situation. Like, it makes absolute no sense, especially when it wasn't even a foul. It turns out it was a clean tackle. Oh, off the post! It was a clean tackle that was wrongly called a foul to begin with, and then justifying that it was a... Oh, that's Atkins. It's the 23rd minute. Are you kidding me? Are we going to be on a second yellow? We are! Oh, my goodness. I jinxed myself. Oh. Okay, we're going to be playing with 10 against FC Bristol in what is almost the same thing as the game. It was a top 2 clash. First and second place team in the league here. It's kind of a top 2 clash. It's first and third. Not quite at the same phase of the season. It's definitely a bit later. Oh, man, this is going to hurt. We want to do this. Fish, can you drop? There you go. It's going to be how we're going to play this one now. Kitching, though. Let's turn that into a defend first. Actually, let's put you into a ball-winning midfielder role. Back to the Thorns. This happened. Red card. Not a second yellow, probably deserved situation on this occasion, but I mean, really, there's been 4 fouls in the entire game and you've sent somebody off already? What was the nature of the foul? We saw the second one. Was that a yellow card? It was a foul, sure, but was it a yellow card? I don't know. This game, I wish. I really... Look at that. We're on 4 yellow cards already. 36 minutes played. We've got 2 more players on yellow cards right now. This ref is trigger happy. He's given a yellow card every freaking foul there is almost. Half of them have resulted in yellow cards. They have 7 fouls. Do they have any yellow cards? Wow. Anyway. I digress, as that one just bangs off the post and Grigg didn't even move a muscle, just stared at it. I'm grateful it's halftime. We have been the better team by all accounts, except for the whole we're playing with 10. Apparently it's only 3 yellow cards. Oh, Gray is their player. So they do have 1 on a yellow. I saw 2 guys on yellows back to back and freaked me out. I'm going to get Gordon out pretty early in this second half, maybe in about 5 minutes time. Just the way this ref is trigger happy, and he's tired anyway, and out of all of our positions, he's certainly one of the best backups we have. One of the best squad depth we can provide here. Dangerous free kick. Greg again does not move. It does miss the target. A little more so than the last one. Quintafera also on a yellow now. And Kitching's on a yellow now. It's just, yeah, this trigger happy crap continues. 58 minutes played. There's only been 12 fouls, and yet it's just 1 yellow after another. Lanahan Penreese, maybe faking injury. Great. Oh, thankfully he goes wide. I need to pause. I cannot keep up with this game and what's going on. Red card early. They score a goal on the free kick, which was... Both circumstances were VAR interventions, which, by the way, VAR this year for the Thorns, there's been roughly 10 VAR-related incidents, and all 10 have gone the way of the opposition. We go down a goal. We go down to 10 players. We haven't even played 20 minutes. We battle back. And again, this is against the team that's currently sitting first in the league. A team that's got their World Cup players, their key ones, back. They are almost at 100% strength, and we've still got players that are not back. We've got Sophia Smith, who's sitting on the bench because she's only been back for 2 days training with the team. Not a full team, and we're down to 10 players, and we're down a goal. Battle back. Beautiful, absolute wonder assist from Olivia Moultrie. Fantastic control from a much improved Hannah Bedford. Ties it 1-1 before the half. We come out in the second half, and just the most insane thing happens. About 25 minutes to go. Smith, again, she's only been back for 2 days, so they start her on the bench. She goes to sub on. We, 22,000 people, go nuts that our star is back, and where she's been with the World Cup and how it transpired. We give her the warmest welcome, and then seconds later she scores what turns out to be the game winner. Literally seconds later. She's not been on the field for 10 seconds, and she scores. Phenomenal goal. Great team goal. We were still giving that warm welcome as this happens. Just go crazy. I mean, it's a minute, 2 minutes of just solid roaring from the crowd. And then the celebration continues for the next 25 minutes as we go on to win. First time in league history that a team gets a red card in the first half and goes on and wins the game against the team that's first place in the league, which is now us. So go Thorns, go Smith, and it was worth it. My voice will be back soon enough. It's almost back now. Okay, sorry that I could not do that while this was happening, but 70 minutes played, and seconds later, they're up a goal. The red card has done its dirty trick for us. We had the man, we had him covered, and Redknapp just couldn't get that one away. Guy rises above him, wins a header, and now it's not looking good. We're going to have to go very attacking. We're going to have to speed things up, even though we have no chance. I haven't seen anything free kick wise from us today, other than losing on that occasion. So I don't think playing for set pieces is going to help us out. We got 2 guys injured, so Lanahan and Penreese did get a knock on that one. Probably should have been a foul, and that's going to be another corner kick here. Now Fish is also injured, and I have no backup here. Do I have somebody who can play? Thornhill, okay, we'll get Thornhill on. So take care of those knocks. Terrible timing on that one, right? We're about to get to that stage that let's encourage, not demand more. We want to encourage the entire team here. Disappointing, really disappointing. And this is on the ref. I mean, this has not been a bad game. This has not been a crazy game. We're talking about 30 total fouls in 90 minutes. That's nothing out of the ordinary. The sending off for Atkins was not anything malicious. It didn't look bad at all. It was a pretty common foul. He tripped the guy up. There was contact between them. He was going for a tackle. It wasn't late. It wasn't sinister. It was just a foul. This ref has given out 40,000 yellow cards today, and there's absolutely no reason for this, as Gray, seemingly time wasting, but maybe not. I'm sorry, but in real life, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that we give that one back on the final play of the game. We're going to take one throw into the box. That's it, folks. We do have work to do going forward. And here's the thing. We got 2 injuries today and a sending off that are going to complicate things in the coming games and weeks. And this, the final midweek game scheduled in quite a while, is not quite the end of the period, right? Because we still have a game this weekend before we will finally, for the first time all season, have a week until the next game. But this next game is going to be a real issue. We're going to have potentially 4 guys unavailable. So we're going to, and it is against a top 10 team in the league. We're coming off a loss now. We've lost the top spot. There is some drama ahead. Now I expect things will settle down. We'll finally have Saturday only or Sunday only matches for a while, for the next month or so. The match load is going to ease off in a few weeks, in a couple weeks. The injuries will recover. The players will be back. But how do we get through the next couple matches? All in all, though, crazy stretch. Not too bad. We're in reach at the top of the league. But this hurt. Pushing forward to the weekend, the Saturday match, so it's just a few days later, and the squad rotation is an obvious necessity with the suspensions and the injuries that we have picked up. Both of those players are out, and the third one with the red card, and we still have Mortland, so 4 guys out. 4. Here's the tricky one, because all that fatigue that we had in those guys are still tired, still need a rest, but we will finally have a 1-week break till our next match after this one, if we can get through it. So I've got a couple U18 players on the bench. I have one of our U23 players. Most of the U18s had a match today, so the guys that we have on the bench today are guys that weren't selected. That's a problem, but okay. The one U21 guy, Finn Coots, in the starting lineup for today, has not started, has trained well at least, but there's a real drop in quality. Kitching, Thornhill both into the starting lineup, Wilkinson in on the left, so those are the 4 spots. I'm going to use the instant result on this one. Let's see if the team can survive and avoid injury and come away with a result. And a result we have against 8th place Wimborne at home. All 3 goals coming in the first half. Trainer getting 2 early. He had a brace inside 20 minutes before Quintafera, obviously off of a corner kick, adds a third. They only had 3 attempts all game, not 1 on target, so there's one good way to avoid a Grigg situation, which, by the way, on a very brief topic here, that is some of those goalkeepers that play in the Premier League that get a lot of attention. I know there's a team that dresses in blue that's rivals of my historical core team, who is seen as a world-class goalkeeper, one of the best in the world. I don't see him as that at all. He's a serviceable keeper. He's not bad by any stretch, but I'll name names. Ederson, I do not think is world-class. I think Ederson benefits from this scenario. He plays on the team that's just better than the teams they play against. He's got the best guys in front of him, which means he just doesn't face a whole lot of great attempts. They got 3. They couldn't even get 1 on target, and we got a clean sheet. He gets clean sheets because of the 10 in front of him more often than he gets because he is got lightning in the gloves. We picked up no injuries on the day. The match load is going to start easing off as we are finally having our first midweek break of the entire season, or at least other than the first week of the season, and it's been November, so it's been a long time coming, and December is always a busy month, so this is not a lengthy break. We're talking about a few weeks where we're going to finally have single match weeks. It's been long overdue. Here's how the team is looking right now. Loney, Quintafera, still at a 106. Trainer has finally broken that 98-99 and hit a 100, and yes, again, I fear that he is going to be gone in January, hopefully loaned back at least. The 17-year-old approaching 18, he's at that perfect timing that teams are going to come absolutely banging on the door to sign him. 31 goals in 25 starts and 7 assists and a 17 XG, but 31 goals. I mean, that's crazy. Training well. Clearly, he is showing that he is a signing in the future for some clubs. Redknapp is kind of staying steady, not really improving now that he's within 20 points of his potential ability, though he'll improve a bit more, I'm sure. He should hit 90s anyway. Gordon, that's that next guy that's going to be on the radar for others. He's developing pretty well, but we've got a few guys at 70 plus now. We got a couple guys at mid 60s. This is not the squad we had. This is very much not the squad we had, but they're coming along okay this season, and certainly playing all right. And without those other competitions and easing off that match load a little bit, hopefully things will settle down for us. Schedule may be finally easing off a little bit, but already late November here. What's not easing off is the toughness of the schedule. We're at least at home, but we have Corsham Town, who are 6th. Our next match is Jersey Bulls, who are 5th. So we do have some tough matches to try to get to that point where we're back to healthy and fit and not overloaded on the match fitness before we get into another busy section in December. That match load's not as bad as you can see here. It's still heavy for a number of players, but it's getting a little bit better. Partially due to that, Mortland is just back from international duty today, so I'm gonna give him a rest, at least put him on the bench. Tom Fish, though, still injured. We are back on the other guy. We're back from the suspension. So squad rotation-wise, we're really only looking at one player down that depth chart. But Thornhill's going to have to start on top. Trainer playing underneath him with Tom Fish unavailable until maybe next week. And at least those injuries were relatively minor. But there's still danger, right? That match load is still pretty high for a lot of these guys, or medium for many of them. So still going to be at least one more week before we're back in the good. And with Trainer not playing on top, where do our goals come from? Not from Thornhill. We lose 1-0. And they had one shot attempt the entire game. 34% possession. They commit 28 fouls. They attempt one shot, and they win 1-0. First half stoppage time goal. We only managed to get 2 on target. We only had 8 attempts. So as much as we dominated without Thornhill, or with Thornhill on top, we just couldn't find the offense we needed. And this is with an exhausted Trainer who still couldn't get rest. Fish will be back, hopefully, for the next match. We're going to need him. Once again, drop off the top of the league. FC Bristol, once again, return to the top of the league. At least for the first time here in ages, though. Everybody is together as one. 17 matches played, nearly at the halfway point. 2 more to go. Our latest facility upgrade is complete. So that's a big step forward for us. We now have adequate training facilities, aka 2 stars. So compared to those around us, it's very good. But compared to where we're trying to get to, it's got to just kind of keep coming along. But we'll wait a little while. We'll wait until at least early 2027 before we ask for the next upgrade in regards to those training facilities. But as long as we have the money, we might as well keep pushing along. We're going to need it. There's going to be a stage here where we're going to turn professional, and the expenses on the youth facilities that are going to be completely unchanged in any way, shape, or form will astronomically increase just because of our status. And whether we have the finances to cover that, whether we make the money at that point, I don't know. Obviously, those sell-on clauses at some point will pay off. We'll collect big sums of money, and we'll be fine ultimately. But with a small stadium with only so many fans coming, once we even do get an expansion, and is that expansion actually coming? It's still in that planning phase right now. When and where that comes together doesn't match. Do we keep growing fan base? It's hard to grow the fan base much down at this level. Reputation is improving, it's helping, but until we really climb that ladder, how are we going to put butts in seats anyway? Even if we do suddenly build a new stadium and have 3,000 capacity, how well do we fill that out? Not terribly well. So at some point the finances are going to get trickier. Got to make hay while the sun shines. Estimated value now at $7.8 million. It's a good value for our club. It's definitely a good value. 2 top 5 teams going at it here, and we're on the road. We're coming off a loss. Really need to bounce back with a win, and for the first time in ages, I'm going to be able to actually select my first 11 without any squad rotation. Now, I still have some guys that need rest. I still have some guys that are a little fatigued. Tom Fish is probably not going to be able to go 90 as he's coming out of his injury. Lanahan Penrice is cleared and good to go and can play a full 90, so at least that's coming along. But Quintafera, Donnell Trainer, still pretty tired, but we're down to medium for everyone except for Connor Mortland, who had those extra matches on international duty that he had picked up. So outside of him, things have eased off a little bit, but we're not quite recovered yet. Another week or two, and I think we'll be back to a happy zone with the players. Hopefully everyone can stay healthy in the meantime. We squeak this one out. And again, this is how close this season is in terms of competition. We win 3-2. It's a thriller. Ryan Gordon with a game winner in stoppage time, 90+2. Not totally dominant, semi-dominant. I mean, it was 13-9 on the shots. It was 9-5 on the on-target. It was 63% possession. And even a calm, just 11 fouls apiece. But that's close. That is very close. But we do come out with 3 points. Big 3 points. Gets us back up to second for the time being, as FC Bristol has dropped some points again, and we're now one match from halfway. Let's get to that halfway point. I'm still nervous about this team, but things have eased off. Now, how easy will the schedule be going forward, though? McFadden picked up a knock. Fortunately, it's just a bruised ankle, just a day or two, so he'll be okay. It could impact him slightly, going into the weekend with that day or two, but otherwise, we're all right. We're all right. Okay. We are not in for a crazy holiday fixture list. We have 4 matches in December, 4 in January, 4 in February, 4 in March, and 4 in April. The rest of the season is nothing but Saturdays. Every Saturday. But it's nothing but Saturdays. Which means the match load is not going to get out of hand the rest of the way. We could pretty much stick to our first 11 here on out. Let's go ahead and get to that halfway point. Willand is next. One of the easiest matches we'll have had in a while. We're going to be on the road at Taunton Town to start the second half, though. Big test. 2 stats for you that are showing the struggle, but also how we're still good. First, team attacking. Now, in a normal season, everything but shot percentage, maybe a couple of these stats are near league average or just slightly above league average, and then the rest we absolutely dominate. We're first in the league and everything. Goals per game, 5% of the league, 2.78. We're very good there, but we're looking at a lot of 70 percentile across the league. Not utterly dominant, just good, just very good. The dribbles per game, the crossing percentage, the shots per game are still very high. The non-penalty XG per 90 is still quite high. But nothing about this goes, ooh, there's your massive domination. It's just not there this year. But we're still faring well. Best player on the team other than Quintafera, by far, Donnell Traynor, our key guy. Still looks good compared to that league average. Still looks very good compared to that league average. But again, this is not the best player in the league level. He's just in the top 10% of the goals, the non-penalty goals, the shots, the progressive passes, top 80%. Open play expected per 90, I'm assuming only 70. Shots on target, he's only at 50%. He is becoming closer to just a better than average player. Now, he is better. He is quite good. He's one of the best players in the league. But he's going up against better opposition. And so just the level of dominance is not what it was the last few seasons. Just little signs, little hints here and there that make it quite clear that we are facing a battle. And, obviously, we're facing a battle. We're not even leading the league. And there's no excuse for it. We're only +3 on goals, and we are legitimately being beaten. We've each played 18 matches, and we're a point behind Taunton. We are about to play. We are level with FC Bristol. But without these, I do think with 1 match a week, I think we have a very good chance going forward. The lack of squad depth is not going to be hurting us much longer. I'm hoping we can start to pull clear. And if we can keep our team intact in January, even if Traynor gets picked up by somebody else, as long as we get him loaned back for the rest of the year, I think we could be, hopefully, taking care of business and winning the league and get that automatic promotion once again this season. It's been a tough year, and it's keeping things interesting. We finally get to play a mid-table team, and while there was nothing dominating about it, we do come away with 3 points. Tom Fish scores in the 6th minute, and that's the only goal of the match. That's very unusual, but it is what it is. 16-6 on the shots, 6 on target to 1. Greg only had to make a single stop, and that always helps us out just a bit. And with that, we reach halfway on the season on just 43 points. Hardly above the 2 points per match threshold. 4 draws, 2 losses in the first half, and just 13 wins. Definitely not what we are used to here. Plus 28, also far below what we are used to, but it's certainly not bad. And it's good enough to get back on top of the league as Taunton Town takes their second loss of the season. They lost to us 2-0 in the first half, and they just lost 5-0 to Jersey Bulls. 5th place Jersey Bulls, who are pretty dang good too. It's really starting to turn into a bit of a 5-horse race with Corsham Town, the team in no man's land, hanging on between the playoff zone and what I suppose we need to be calling mid-table, starting at Buckland Athletic. Big drop-off from there. Really, you're looking at just those 6 teams on top. Bournemouth FC should be up there with a +6 goal differential, but seem to not be able to take care of business against probably too many top teams. With that, we have a very, very, very close battle. 2 to 3 losses of the entirety of the top 5 teams. Corsham Town just that little bit further behind that group, and I expect a pretty solid battle. I mean, it's quite close, just 5 points separating that whole group here with half a season to play. The good news, Saturdays here on out, the rest of the season, match load will ease off. I still have our 2 guys that need a rest. They're not getting it with Taunton Town next, but we'll try to give them a rest at some phase, some stage, against some weaker opposition, get them a day off at some stage. But otherwise, we could expect less squad rotation going forward, more of our key players, some continued improvement, those better training facilities kicking in. I think we're going to get better results in the second half than what we got in the first half. So I think we're going to have fewer than 6 occasions of dropping points, which is, a third of the time. I think if we can cut that down to a quarter of the time in the second half, we could and should just edge away a little bit from the chasing pack. Hopefully. Taunton Town will be a big test and a great opportunity to take a 2-point edge over them, turn it into 5. Dropping those points against FC Bristol hurt, because we'd be sitting on 46 and they'd be sitting on 40 right now had we been able to flip that result our way. Those are going to be the biggest key matches going forward, and I think the biggest opportunities for us to drop points. So far, the teams we've dropped points to, Corsham and FC Bristol, 2 teams in the top 6. In the draw department, Tavistock is 14th. Buckland, they are 7th, so again, it's top teams. From down to last, that one hurts, but they're all road games. All 4 are road games. Sherborne, the loss to Corsham Town at home just a couple of matches ago. First home loss, first time dropping points at home all season. The FC Bristol was on the road. So we know where our weak point is. It's on the road. We've dropped points in terms of draws to some weaker teams, but we haven't lost to any weaker teams. It's pretty clear where the opposition, it's really in those top 7 that we are finding some difficulties. So that's the ones we'll really need to keep an eye on in the second half. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.